I'm sure many of us have watched the movie The Titanic or heard of the story The Titanic. We wish we were Kate or Leo standing at the end of the ship saying, I'm the king of the world. But the sad part is the Titanic sank. The unsinkable ship sank, resulting in many people losing their lives. If I were to ask you why you thought the Titanic sank, many of us would say it was the iceberg. But today I would like to give you 3 reasons as to why it actually sank. 2 men were on duty that night and they just started their shift. Their job was to be the lookout in the crow's nest. It was their duty to see if any danger was ahead. They had a bell that they could ring to notify people of danger, and they also had a phone directly to the captain's headquarters to signal any dangers ahead. But you know what they did not have? They did not have binoculars. Ships to this day have binoculars. The Titanic had binoculars, but it was locked away in a case somewhere on the ship. The person who had the key left the ship just before boarding as his services was no longer needed, taking the key with him. Why didn't they just break open the case and get the binoculars? Great question. Well, the Titanic was unsinkable, so why would we need the binoculars anyway? The second reason I would like to give you has to do with the ship's radio systems. The Titanic had one of the best radio systems at that time. Now, a radio system is there to receive warnings of any dangers ahead. But do you know what the Titanic was using the radio systems for? To tell the first-class customers that their flowers will be ready in the morning, or telling them that a poker game was going to take place. Do you know the Titanic received 6 warnings of an iceberg ahead? 6. At one point, the Titanic's radio operator shouted to the other ships that were sending them warnings. He said, "Shut up, man. I'm busy servicing our first-class customers." The Titanic was unsinkable after all, right? The third reason I want to submit to you today is about a guy called Murdoch. On the night of the Titanic sinking, the captain of the ship, his shift ended, which was normal, and it was Murdoch's turn to be on duty. Murdoch was the guy that you wanted on your ship. At that time, Murdoch was the guy responsible for saving another ship from danger. He was extremely experienced and well known for his ability to avoid danger. So he was definitely the guy that you wanted on board the Titanic. But what did Murdoch do on the night of the Titanic sinking? What he always done. He steered the ship away from the iceberg. The problem with that is Murdoch exposed more of the Titanic to the iceberg. The Titanic was designed that if 4 of its compartments was damaged, it could still survive. But because Murdoch done what he always done, the things that worked in the past, 5 compartments was damaged on the ship and it sunk. Experts said that if Murdoch just steered the ship directly into the iceberg, it would have been damaged, but most likely it would not have sunk. People lost their lives that day due to people's arrogance and pride. Do you or your business suffer from the Titanic syndrome? A personal or corporate disease in which people or organizations facing disruptions create their own downfall through arrogance, excessive attachment to the past, or an inability to recognize the new and emerging reality. The power to change your future lies in your hands. It starts with knowing if you or your organization is headed for the iceberg or not. Thank you very much. This is Tina Cupido.